And so, hello everyone. Today, Kannon and I are going to show you how to fill out a Gunpla sheet. What you're going to need to fill out a Gunpla sheet is, well, of course, any piece of paper. Of course, you're going to want a Gunpla sheet. And you're going to need access to the Gunpla Tabletop core rules. And so, these will tell you exactly what you need for the game. So, for this game, you're going to need a Gunpla, a stand for your Gunpla, and a Gunpla sheet, as well as a tape measure, at least 2 6-sided dice, and a pencil. And so, to begin the game, you have to fill out a Gunpla sheet for your Gundam that contains all the different information that your opponents as well as yourself are going to need for in-game use. So first you want to start off by writing down your pilot name. I've taken the liberty of writing down the name as well as the Gunpla name for mine and Kannon's Gunpla sheets. So for now it's just going to say our Gundams and then pilot. So and then next you're going to want to go down to is your pilot stats. And so at the beginning of the game, you get 5 points to distribute between these 3 stats however you wish. So and you're going to write that in the base section of the chart here. And so I'm going to go ahead for my M91 flash. I'm going to go ahead and go 3 into evasion, 1 accuracy, and 1 melee. And for Kannon's NT Gundam Mark II, he's gone with 1 melee, 2 for accuracy, and 2 for evasion. And so, next up, we're going to move on to pilot skills. Each player can take up to 4 pilot skills from the table in the bottom of the rules. And so we're going to go ahead and scroll down there now, so that Kannon and I can fill out our sheets. And so, this list will have many different pilot skills to choose from. Some of them will have requirements, but any of the skills in the core rules do not. And so, now we're just gonna choose 4 of these, and then you're simply gonna write them down under the pilot skill, and then you're gonna write the effect next to it. So for this, Kannon and I are just gonna choose Ace, Vicious, Reckless, and Iron Will. Now in normal cases you'd write down the effects next to them, but for the sake of this demo video and for the sake of time, Kannon and I are going to go ahead and skip on to the next hex step. But before we do, pilot skills have different effects that will either give you stat boosts or will affect the way some of your weapons interact with the game. It'll give you special effects, hex, or anything like that. And so, next up, we go over to our Gunpla's name. And so, over in that field, you're just going to write whatever name you've given your Gunpla. If you've straight built your Gunpla, then you're just going to write whatever its given name is. And so next up, we're going to determine our Gunpla's stats. And so, the way to do that is that you write down what scale it is. So Kannon and I are both using 1/144th. They're both HGs. And then you can pick, and then you're allowed to pick the size of your Gundam's frame. So your Gundam's frame can be large, medium, or small. Well, and so I'm gonna go with small, and then Kannon's gonna go with whichever he chooses. Large. And so now we're gonna go down to the Gunpla stat chart, and then we're gonna find the Gundam stats that'll hit our frames the most. And so we're down here in the 1/144th scale chart, and so I've chosen a small or light frame. And so my base HP is going to be 68. My base damage reduction is going to be 6. My base movement 12 inches, and my my base carry slots will be 10. And so your HP is your health for this game. And your DR, your damage reduction, will reduce the amount of damage you take every time you're attacked. And then your movement, that is the max hex distance you can move in inches. And then your carry slot, all your equipment will have a carry cost. The total carry cost of all of your equipment cannot exceed what's written in the final box for your carry. And so next we're going to choose our Gunpla classes. And so your Gunpla classes, just like your pilot skills, will have stat boosts and various effects for you to choose from. And so the difference though is that Gunpla classes will always have a move boost and a DR boost, and then they will always have requirements that must be met before you can take them. Alright, yeah. And then, so any player here is allowed to pick 2 of these Gunpla classes to define their Gundam. And so for my custom M91 Gundam here, hence it's based off the F91, which is known for its for being small and being fast. I'm going to choose high mobility. Yeah, go for it. And Cannon's going to go with mid-range for his first skill. And so the move boost for high mobility is +5. And then it gives you an extra move action each turn. So that means you're able to move more or one more time each turn. And we'll speak more about actions in the next video. But for now, simply keep it in the back of your mind. And then for my second skill, I'm going to go ahead and go with general use, since the F91 line ended up getting mass produced. And so the general use, whose effect gives +1 to all your pilot stats. And then it has a move boost of 2. And a DR boost of 2. And so once you've chosen your Gunpla classes, you'll go to the field type, which in the rules is right between the Gunpla classes and the Gunpla stats. And so the field type determines which kind of battlefield her Gunpla will be the most adept with. So, amphibious mobile suits, those are for anything that's basically a submarine. And then for ground mobile suits, such as the Gundam ground type, the gems, and then space type suits such as ours with the vernier thrusters, and then there'll be the atmospheric suits like the Kyrios, the Murasames, anything with wings really. And so you're gonna want to, and so they each do have physical requirements. And so you simply choose one that best suits your Gunpla. And so Ken and I are both going to choose space. And so the space field type grants the Gunpla atmospheric as well as +2 evasion in space fields, as well, and then a second +2 in movement in space fields, as well as a normal +2 who move and a normal +2 DR. And so now that we have the field type, we move on to the equipment. So like I said, your equipment's going to cost you at least 1 carry cost. And so all the carry costs will be in the charts for each type of weapon. Any systems will have the carry cost written either at the end or the beginning of the system. And the same will go also for special equipment. And so any weapons have to be physically represented, and you cannot have more than one listed to a single physical weapon. So really all that means is that I can't have only these 2 rifles on my F91 and say I have 10 rifles on my F91. And so Ken and I are going to go ahead and pick out our weapons, and then we're going to fill out our sheets. And once you pick out your weapons, you're going to want to go down to the systems, and then any special equipment, which there shouldn't be any. Yeah, there shouldn't be any in the core rules, or there might be. Oh yeah. And then there's some basic special equipment in the core rules. So we'll scroll back up to weapons so that can list the weapons we have. So Kannon, you have 2 beam sabers. So we're gonna go to swords, spears, swords. And so your 2 beam sabers right there would be considered 2 medium beam swords. So you're gonna write 2x for 2 times, and then you're just gonna write down medium beam sword. And so then next to it you would fill out its stats, but again, for the sake of time, I'm gonna do that. We're simply gonna write down the carry cost for each piece of our equipment. So Kannon, go ahead and write carry cost 2.
Oh, 2?
Yeah.
All right.
Or carry cost 1 each, up to you.
I'll do 2.
Yeah. And so now we're going to go to rifles, because the only weapons left on both of our Gunpla are each of our beam rifles. And so here we are at the rifles section. So while cannons are larger, mine are smaller, so they will be different sizes. And if you ever have trouble deciding what size your weapon is, simply follow the sizing guide next to it. So how the sizing guide works is that you're going to take the weapon and then you're going to compare it to the size that's listed. So you're going to compare it to your Gunpla. So first you're going to kind of measure it from. No, we're just going to use mine. It'll be fine, Ken. So you're going to measure it from the bottom of the foot up to the waist first. And so that's about the length of the Gunpla's leg. Well, unfortunately, Gunpla's leg isn't listed in the sizing. So now you're going to kind of measure it from the arm. And so it's bigger than the arm. So it's at least a medium. And so let's check. So Gunpla's arm to Gunpla's torso. If it's bigger than the arm, but it's not reaching the torso of your Gunpla from the ground, it'll be a medium rifle. So I have 2 of those on my M91. So I'm just gonna write down 2 medium rifles, or beam rifles. And since they're mediums, their carry cost each is only 1. And so next up, we're going to go ahead and size cannons. And so, yep, Cannon's hands definitely reaches to the torso of his Gunpla. Reaches about halfway up it, actually. So, we're going to go over here. It is bigger than the torso, but it is not bigger than the Gunpla, so it is going to be, excuse me, a large beam rifle. And so, the carry cost for her large beam rifle is 2 each. And so Cannon's going to write down 2x large beam rifles, and then in the carry section he's going to write down 2. And now that we've got all our weapons listed, we're going to run down right to the systems page. Yeah, just 2. And so, systems are your non-physical equipment, and really just has the special effects you have installed inside your mobile suit. Now, some effects will have some systems will have requirements for you to meet. So, and others, like the Awakening mode, will just say any Gunpla may take this system. And so, we're going to go ahead and fill out how the systems that we have, which currently, like all Gunpla should in Gundam Breaker, it just simply has Awakening system. So you're going to write down Awakening. Then you're going to write System next to it. And then you would write its effect. And now, and then next, since we have all our systems, we'll go down to our special equipment. And so, he'll take a look around and see if we have the requirements for any of our special equipment here. We don't have any visible sensor. We don't have any custom sensors on our weapons that are visible. Neither of ours are customized. However, one of ours is high mobility class, one of ours is high mobility class, and so it'd be eligible to take enhanced thrusters, which would be 1 cost, and would give it 6 move and +1 to evasion. Kannon unfortunately did not take heavy class, so he would be able to take enhanced armor. And if you paint or you customize your inner frame or have the reinforced frame class, you're allowed to take enhanced frame, and then you're allowed to take extra rounds or clips if you have physical extra rounds or clips for your weapon. And so, next up, we're just gonna go over some things we skipped. So once you have all this written down, you'll have your Gunpla sheet ready. However, once you have your Gunpla sheet ready, you're gonna go back through, and you're gonna look at all the different stat boosts that your sheet gives you, and then you're gonna list them each individually here in the modifiers section of both of your stat charts, under as well as under the appropriate stat. And then once you have all of that done, you're going to add them all together, and then you're going to write the final values for each of her stats in the final value box. And so, so now we're going to go over each of the stats. And so melee, the melee stat will help you whenever you're attacking with, say, hey, if Kannon decided to attack me with a sword, he would add his melee modifier to his attack roll, or his final melee, to his attack roll. And then, say I shot back on my turn, I'd use my accuracy with my attack roll. Now, whenever one of us are attacking each other, the other one's got to be defending or dodging. punching either way. But whenever you're the one being attacked, you're making defense rolls, and so you're going to add your evasion instead of either your accuracy or your melee, unless Hessian effect tells you otherwise. Your HP is how much you're gonna is how much damage you can take before your Gunpla is destroyed and you lose the game. Hey, once your HP hits 0, you're done, as with most games. Your damage reduction, he'll reduce the amount of damage you take every time you're hit by that much that is listed. However, every time you're hit, it will go down by 1. We're good, Kannon. We don't need that yet. And then your movement hint is sort of obvious. If you have a movement of 12, you can move up to 12 inches during any time you're allowed to move. And then, and as I mentioned with carry cost earlier, each of your weapons have a carry cost, and they just simply can't exceed the amount that your carry is. And then, for her weapons, they'll have damage, they'll all have range. However, explosive weapons will have a blast range, so once they attack, it probably won't end up being just you getting attacked if there's anyone around you. And then BV, or burst value, is used to sort of simulate the effects of like buckshot from a shotgun. And so it would scatter and so that's one of the one of the ways you can apply your burst value is if you have a shotgun weapon, you're able to let the attack spread out and hit multiple targets. Another way you can apply your burst value is to simply add it to your armor piercing, which is your AP. Now your armor piercing is the amount of damage that ignores your damage reduction. And so whenever you do damage to an opponent, you would subtract the amount of AP from the damage you're doing, and then you would heal that damage normally, and whenever you have the total damage, you would add the amount you took away earlier using your AP to that final damage. And for things like shields, whenever you're attacked, you're allowed to choose if you want to block with a shield or even all your shields. And your shields will also have HP and damage reduction. And so with shields, how it works is that if it's a beam shield, it'll go on cooldown. Like with ranged weapons, if they run out of ammo, you have to wait to reload. And so cooldown is the amount of turns that you have to wait before you can be able to use that weapon or that shield again. And then uses are the amount of times a weapon can be fired. This is normally just pertaining to ranged weapons, but such as guns or anything. But the number of uses is the number of times you can use that weapon before you have to wait for it to reload, or you have to wait for it while it's on cooldown. And then carry is just the amount of is just the amount of its carry cost. And so once you have all that information written down, you'll have yourself a completed Gunpla sheet. I hope this video was informative to you. At least according to Kannon, it was informative for him, and he feels a lot more confident now actually trying to play it. We couldn't have done this without the wonderful help of Dice Addiction Games and More, and their wonderful owner Chip Knight. Like, subscribe. I'm not sure if he's streaming this on YouTube or Twitch, but if he's streaming it on YouTube, like and subscribe. This concludes the part 1 of our 3-part video demo. Next week we'll be fighting and going over the stats in more detail. And then in our 3rd week, instead of walking through the fight and explaining everything, he'll simply be hiding and answering any questions as we go. No. And thank you and good night.